I was in my room, laying in my bed, and in the window of the second floor bedroom, I seen God. He had his hands extended and wanted me to go with him. Hello and welcome back to Talk About Strange. I hope you guys all had a wonderful Easter weekend, had a wonderful Easter. I know I did. We took a ride out to see all of our kids and grandkids. It was a really good day. And then at the end of the day, we went over to my brother's house and celebrated my mother's birthday. So we were just blessed. It was a wonderful day. I hope you guys had just as good as a weekend as we did and are ready to get back to some stories. I still got some more stories to get caught up on. This first story, actually, I wish I would have gotten it done over the weekend, but I didn't. It's from Ron, and it's titled God. So, hey, how about that, right? That would have been good for the weekend, or for Easter. But I didn't get to it, but I'm going to get to it right now, all right? So without any further ado, we're just going to go right into the story, and we'll go from there. I might have one more I can add on to this one. All right. This is kind of neat. When I was roughly 3.5 to 4 years old, I had this alligator that would wind up and hop when its jaw when its jaw snapped. My mother got tired of this thing hopping across the hardwood floors, so she took it from me and placed it on top of a brick fireplace mantel. After she turned her back and went into the kitchen, my little self, I thought I would climb up on the fireplace, standing on my tiptoes and stretching my fingers to retrieve the alligator. When I got to the top, I was reaching for the alligator, and I remember feeling like I was falling. To my surprise, the fireplace pulled away from the wall and came down on top of me in one solid piece. My mother heard the commotion and ran out into the dining room where I was trapped. Scared, she picked up the fireplace off from me by herself and dragged me out from underneath it, then called an ambulance for me. I kind of remember being on the couch. I had cuts on my face and cuts on the back of my head, but nothing real traumatic as far as I knew. But then I was put in the hospital for 2 months in a coma. I'm wondering if it was like a drug-induced coma or if you slipped into a coma from your injuries. The doctor told my mother I was lucky to still be alive. They sent me home after 2.5 months. I was in my room, laying in my bed, and in the window of the second floor bedroom, I seen God. He had his hands extended and wanted me to go with him. I told him, no, I'm staying here with my mom. Then went into my mom's room without realizing it and woke her up. I told her that I had a hole in my head. My mom turned on the light and seen that I had blood all down my arm and all down the right side of my face. She sat up and looked at my head. The blood was coming from my right temple. At this point, she called an ambulance and took me back to the hospital. Turns out I had a blood clot squeeze out of my temple. It was the size of a 50-cent piece. The doctor sent my mother home to retrieve the pillowcase. The blood clot was on it. They told my mother that the pressure from the blood clot should have killed me because it had to go through all the muscle and skin and come out of my temple. There was no cuts or anything in the area of my head. Apparently, for some reason, God saved me from dying. So I lived out the rest of my normal childhood. I want to thank the listeners for understanding, and I'd like to say there is a God out there. So people really need to get back into believing in God. I've seen him with my own 2 eyes, so I know he exists. Thanks, Ronald. Thank you, Ronald. That's a really neat story. I mean, wow, how incredible. And you hear about miracles like that happening, not very often, but I mean, you hear of miracles like that. And I mean, that's unbelievable that you made it through that. And but really cool, great testimony for you. Thank you for sharing that with us. I'm sure there's a lot of people are going to really enjoy that. All right. And now we're going to move on to, what do we got here? This is from Illumina. Hello from Alaska. It's Illumina. This keeps coming up for me, and so I'll share it. Because I have so many far out experiences since I was young, I had decided on my first email to send you, I will break my stories into several rather than taking up most of the video. For example, I was 16 years of age with a small group of friends in Florida. We were going to drink some mushroom tea, which I'd never done before. But they were Florida boys and a little older and already seasoned and knew where to find them, etc. In other words, they were experienced and knew what to do. I felt in capable hands, and one of my friends had for years and so felt comfortable with joining in. I do remember thinking as they gave me a small glass with a small amount of liquid, how could this do anything to me? I drank it and then decided to go to the nearby golf course. One of the guys named Doug decided to go off on his own direction. So myself and the two other fellows made the short walk to where we sat on the grass and began having a conversation. I don't remember the content of what we were talking about. However, it was irrelevant in comparison to what happened next. All of a sudden, a huge comet came into the atmosphere and in close proximity to where we were sitting. Yes, most all of you will say it's because we were hallucinating, yet that was not the case. It was very loud and a fireball that literally came in at a 45-degree angle. We stood up and were looking for a way to go back home. At this point, there was no type of explosion indicating that it had landed. When we got back to the house, our friend Doug, however, said that there was cops searching the woods with dogs. I don't recall going on about it. We all stayed up through the night and just talked and relaxed inside. I've shared the story before, and it still is absolutely fascinating. I especially love being able to demonstrate the power of the noise that was associated with it when sharing it with people. Have you ever seen such a phenomenon? What do you all say? Till the next time, aloha. Okay, thank you for sharing that with us. Yes, under normal circumstances, I would say you were hallucinating. Did you check the news channels, or was there anything else that came out from this? Pretty interesting that you all experienced basically the exact same thing. But thank you for sending that in. We'll have to see on the next story, huh? All right, what else do we got? Okay, to wrap this video up, I am going to share with you one more poem from Rachel. She wanted to share with you guys. She really appreciates all the support that you guys showed her on her message or story that she sent in to us. Stories, really, there was a few of them, and the poem. And I want to thank you as well for giving me support for reading it. I guess I did all right on it according to you guys, so thank you. I think you're being gracious. So I'm going to do one more here, and hopefully this won't turn into a poem reading channel, but hey, you know what? It's fun. Maybe this one will be a little more cryptid. All right. She named this one Bobby Pins. And I have not read this. So there was once a bobby pin that held so firm in place. That bobby pin, it never failed, keeping my hair out of my face. Till the day a storm blew in like none I'd ever seen, the kind you would never want to meet outside a TV screen. My hair was tossed and flipped asunder in every which way. So violently was it whipped about that pin just couldn't stay. I felt it as it started to fail, getting looser by the second. I couldn't believe when it finally gave. Oh, I never would have reckoned. Oh, bobby pin, I can't believe you are gone. I won't forget how strong you were and how tight you hung on. I could try to replace you, but it just wouldn't be the same. You were more to me than just a bobby pin. You were my everything. You helped me to see when I needed you most. You always were there, but never did boast. You made me feel pretty when I didn't at all. You made it easy to face the wind and stand tall. You taught me to trust and you helped me to grow. You showed me how to love and how to let go. So to everyone out there who never knew from the start what it meant by missing your bobby pin deep down in your heart. And to all the bobby pins out there who have come and then gone, please know that through the memories you will always live on. Everyone, remember to wear your bobby pins right, to always appreciate them throughout life's storms. Hold them tight. Remember that though they won't always be there, it's a blessing to have them hold up your hair. The end. And I get that. I mean, that's kind of deep, really. The bobby pin is a metaphor, I think, for the people in your life that are there to hold you up, and to, look out for you when you need them the most, and they're not always there. And I'm kind of thinking that this relates a lot to your cousin that passed away. Thank you for sending that in with us. It's a beautiful poem, and I hope everybody else gets it, and that gets the message within that poem. So just next time, add a ghost, will you? So with Bigfoot. No, I'm kidding. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up with that one, and then because the next one I think is going to be a little bit longer, and stick around. Don't go too far because I will see you again really soon.